I've got to get to the studio. You know, our religion, our faith, has to address the environment, has to address the community, has to address issues of poverty. What are some of the things you liked about Chicago?
Oh, the Art Institute.
And one of the things I know that you and I share is Chicago.
This is true.
Really distinct goals. Our primary interest was in campaign finance reform, but we were also interested in election law and in civil union.
And better and cleaner politics in Oregon. Dan, good to have you on Speaking Frankly. You know, that's the thing is, we as human beings live together on this planet Earth.
Right.
We also live together in our societies, in our nations, in our communities. Welcome to Speaking Frankly. Well, here we are in the midst of summer in August, and all the forecasts are that we're going to have 100-degree weather today and maybe even a little higher than 100-degree tomorrow, but it's summer. And the other thing that we should be mindful of is not only the weather, but also politics. And so I have as my special guest today Jason Brown, who is the Democratic candidate for House District 23. Jason, welcome to Speaking Frankly.
Thank you, Frank.
It's just great to have you here.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
And now I need to know a little more about you. We had a chance to get a bit acquainted at lunch today.
Yes.
But how is it that you decided to run this year?
Well, I did run in 2006 as well.
Yes.
Ultimately, as when we were talking at lunch, my background has, well, and just my general philosophy of life is such that I believe that people can make a difference in the world and that it's important for them to do so. And that has sort of manifested its way in my life in a number of different ways at different times. And this is really just, well, it's something I feel that I'm called to do at this time.
Good for you. Good for you. You know, that's one of the things we sometimes forget, that citizens in a democracy all have a role to play. I'm just delighted that it's hit you to be involved politically here in this democracy.
Yeah, I think, well, there's a real need. Not only are we potentially, well, we're facing potentially difficult times in the future. We're in an economic recession, and the direction that we're moving in isn't the direction we need to be moving in to get out of that recession.
Yes.
We also have infrastructure issues. We haven't been paying our infrastructure costs in Oregon, and that's also part of the economic picture. We have environmental issues. Just in general, our whole state has been moving in the wrong direction for at least a generation, and it's time we get onto a track that's really going to benefit the people of Oregon so that we can have better quality lives and that we can protect the things that really are special and unique to Oregon.
You know, that's one of the things. I came out here from Michigan and grew up in Michigan. It's a beautiful state. But it's hard to beat Oregon in terms of natural beauty. I mean, when I think of how fortunate, I first came out here 67, 68 for a year, and I taught at Linfield College, and then I went back to Chicago. Now I enjoyed Chicago, but 2 years later I was invited back to Linfield, and I accepted, and I've been here ever since. What a beautiful place to live. And we want it to remain beautiful and productive, don't we?
No, absolutely. I mean, where else in the world, and even in the United States, can you go where, Oregon has such a diversity of agricultural crops that we grow in our economy here. And there's such a diversity of economic or environmental climates. You can go to the coast, you can go up into the mountains, you can go hiking in the woods, you can go out in the desert. We've got volcanoes, Glass Butte, Mount Hood, the Gorge. I mean, we pretty much have it all here.
I was just going to say, we have it here, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we'd better pay attention to it and the maintenance of this environment and all the beauties and not only beauties, but the productive features of this state.
Absolutely. You know, my uncle grew up in Oregon over by the Umpqua River, there by Roseburg, Winchester. And he then moved to California because he had one of the good Oregon educations
Yes.
back when we were a leader in education. But there weren't the good jobs that he could go to, so he went to California. And he was one of the sort of Silicon Valley wonder boys.
Oh.
But they had it all there in Silicon Valley as far as the natural amenities, and now it's not the same. And I really don't want to see, and I saw it when I was growing up, how quickly that the open spaces out there turned into subdivisions and high-rise buildings, and just you go back 1 year and it wasn't the same place.
Yes.
And it can happen at a frightening pace. And I've read investment magazines. There are a lot of people who would like to do that here in the Willamette Valley. And that's one of the reasons I worked very hard to pass Measure 49 along with my wife, who's the primary organizer just south of you in Polk County.
Oh,
At
great.
the grassroots level. And
Let me congratulate you. I
Thank
am
you.
so glad because that we needed an answer and a reply